Hello. Now, although I probably look a lot older, thanks to all the abuse that I've done, God, I mean, if I hadn't done all the drinking and smoking, I probably wouldn't have all these like lines and wrinkles and stress, and probably still have some of my hair, wouldn't I? Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, I am just about at the arse end of Gen X, and there's a lot of kind of nostalgia going around now, and you know, you get older and you think about the generations that are coming through now, you compare it to when you grew up, and there's a lot of talk on the internet I see about, oh, you know, like in the 90s it was like, you know, we knew how to party, we knew how to have a good time, like, you know, it wasn't like this age. It wasn't all the woke stuff, there wasn't all the offence or taking offence at everything or whatever. And it's true in the sense that it's very different now, right? The technology is very different, the culture is very different. The 90s was a very different place. But one of the things, I have lots of feelings about that either way, but one of the things I think about with alcohol is I recently moved from a very student-y area, and when I first moved there I thought, oh my god, you know, there's going to be parties all night, drinking, fighting, all the rest of it, music. Hardly any of that. Sometimes I was the noisiest person on the street playing a bit of guitar at midnight or whatever, and we'd go to the local pub, student pub. And look, obviously there are times students are getting wasted, all the rest of it. There's always going to be students getting wasted. But not very much. And people would, you know, students just sit around. We go to a pub and I'd be getting pissed, and they'd be sitting around sort of nursing a £7 pint and looking all miserable. And as soon as someone got a phone out to take a picture, you know, Instagram picture, they're all like, ah! You know, like, it's crazy, we're having a great time. And then back to looking miserable, staring at the phone. Obviously that it's not always like that. It's a bit of a, you know, exaggeration, but generally that's kind of what I noticed. And we do know, it seems from the data, that young people are drinking significantly less alcohol. Like most of the generations that have problems with alcohol are like my generation and older generations, and young people just aren't really drinking that much, and presumably they're also not doing, you know, so many drugs, although maybe they are doing psychedelics a bit more. That seems to be fairly popular, but not doing, you know, not getting smashed on the booze as much as previous generations. And obviously there's lots of contributing factors to that. There's the cost of beer, just culture, technology, all the rest of it. There's loads of reasons why that may be the case. But my question is, and I don't know the answer to this, is that a good thing or a bad thing, you know? Because part of me does think that being young and sort of, you know, being hedonistic and going a bit nuts, and it's sort of like a phase of your life, an important phase of your life, you know, and a phase of discovery. And sure, it's got dark sides to it, and you kind of would be healthier not to do it, but, you know, like lots of great things that have come through, like experimental drug-fueled, alcohol-fueled youth culture, right? I mean, the whole counterculture of the 60s, all of punk, you know, like most of alternative culture has basically come about partly through drugs and alcohol. That's the reality, isn't it? And young people, you know, and now young people are just sort of very sensible. They don't want to be filmed doing something embarrassing. They're £30,000 in debt trying to go to university or whatever. Beers cost a fortune, you know, but they're also a lot more healthy, a lot more sensible. And although I'm, you know, now proclaiming the life of, you know, sobriety, and I'd recommend that to anybody that's interested in it, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone that's not interested in it. A lot of my friends are drinkers, and, you know, they're just not interested in changing that particularly, and that's fine, you know. You know, if you drink, you drink, you know. But anyway, just trying to stay on point. I don't know like whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that the youth culture isn't drinking very much and isn't partying very much and isn't, you know, going wild. I don't know whether that matters or not. Even as somebody that's now trying to be teetotal, basically. It's weird. Let me know if you have any thoughts, which you probably, well, you'd have to watch the video to have some thoughts there, wouldn't you? But if you do watch the video and you got any thoughts on youth culture and whether it sort of should let its hair down a little bit more, let me know. I really don't know either way. And I'd thought about this problem before I stopped drinking as well. Or problem, is it even a problem? Maybe it's not a problem, maybe it's a great thing. Because of course part of the whole idea of like a teenager, I have read somewhere, is like basically a modern fiction, like before the 50s or whatever it was. Like we didn't have that at all. Like people went to school up to a certain age and then they just went straight to work, and they were just very young men or young women, and they were just working, and doing what they were doing, and there wasn't any of this kind of rebellious teenager thing. That was very much something afforded to culture by sort of by affluence and capitalism, and then people trying to sell you shit, right? Most of the rebellious culture was also a chance for some people to make a shitload of money. I don't know. Youth culture, should they drink more? Can't believe I'm even asking that on this channel. Oh, I don't know. Let me know.